Libra, if you're seeing this reading before March 10th, then lucky you, because you'll have a heads up on how to work with the energies with the new moon in Pisces on March 10th, as well as the chaotic lunar eclipse in your sign on March 25th, and come out on top. All right, starting with that new moon. It's in Pisces and hitting your 6th house. So for the first half of the month, you might want to focus on how to create really healthy routines for yourself. New moons are a good time to plant seeds, and right now, planting seeds around physical health and daily routines and schedules is going to benefit you the most. Now, this new moon is conjunct Saturn and sextiling Jupiter in your 8th. So it may be that we're learning how to do a healthy balance between shadow work and light work within our lives every day. With Mars and Venus giving a little extra oomph to your creative ventures in the 5th, it may be time to monetize that hobby too. Before we get into the tarot spread for the first half of March, I've got one special card for you, and that's the subscribe card. Please subscribe for more readings like this. Now for the first half of March for you, Libra, the overall energy is the 8 of Wands and the Tower. Now, 8 of Wands is about fast movement, fast communication. The Tower, though, is about absolute destruction and devastation. So maybe you had like a health scare recently, but I feel like you're getting some momentum and really dashing forward with this sort of new plan that you have for yourself. Because the first card that we have in the spread is 2 of Wands. It's choosing a new path, making a new plan, making new decisions around something. So I really feel like you are doing a really good job at the beginning of this month of planting some seeds, particularly in the areas that are going to be most abundant to you. And so that's going to be your creativity and monetizing creativity as well as your health. Now, I do think in order to make this very successful, we're going to have to do a little bit of inner work here. Because just below the 2 of Wands in this first column, we have the 5 of Swords reversed. The 5 of Swords reversed can be about eliminating negative self-talk, about getting rid of kind of bullying energies. And so if we've been kind of downplaying ourselves, saying oh, my creative stuff isn't that good, nobody's actually going to buy it. And maybe you've got a hobby with knitting, or maybe you've got a hobby with creating painting or doing some other craft. And you're nobody actually buy it. This is you going no, my stuff is good enough. I really need to do something with these things I've been putting all this time and effort into, and maybe just go down to the farmer's market and try selling them there. Likewise, if this is a health concern, maybe you've just always been I'm just never going to be that person that's super fit or whatever. This is you changing that narrative. You are letting that old self die so that this new self can be born. No, damn it, I can be as fit as I want at whatever age. Yeah, because there's not going to ego death here, because in the heart of the spread is the death card. And I really feel like for you, Libra, around this Pisces new moon in the first half of March, this is all about letting go of sort of these old narratives and welcoming in something that's going to feel much more emotionally fulfilling, much more abundant to you, and just help you get your stuff together. Because I think this new plan is really heading you towards something that's very emotionally fulfilling. Now, 10 of Cups is about domestic bliss. So this could be building up to what we're going to see at the end of the month here, about sort of defining what looks like domestic bliss to you, what looks like, a relationship that is actually going to be really fulfilling to you, whether that's a relationship to self or a relationship to other. And I feel like you're really starting to realize just how much power you hold in this, okay, with the Magician. So this whole top row, we've got you making plans around your domestic bliss, around your happiness, around your joy, and understanding that you have all the tools at your disposal to make this happen. You have the passion, you have the intellect, you have the resources, and you have the emotional capacity. Even if it means that we have to make a daily practice of doing some shadow work, right? I kind of mentioned that already. We might have to get rid of some old shadows, some old naysaying, some old self-betrayals and self-sabotaging behaviors to make this happen for us. Because this middle row has that 5 of Swords already pointed out, and the Death, heart and center, and also Page of Swords reversed. Page of Swords is reversed. It's all the haters, right? This is everybody else's opinion around you. It's just no, I don't think you can do that. That kind of sort of naggy voice. It's all those little voices, and they could be outside of you or they could be internal. I feel like it's both in this spread, honestly. I feel like you've got some internal voices keeping you back from pursuing these things that you want to pursue, as well as some external voices being who does she think she is? But I think this is you standing up for yourself, Libra, being bump all y'all. I do what I want. Really get into your villain era here, right, Libra? Because while we have that lunar eclipse at the end of March, we also have a solar eclipse coming up for you in October. And so this whole year is all about you believing in you, boo-boo. Because, yeah, you are getting fired up at the beginning of this month, right? Page of Wands is about pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, doing new things, meeting new people, traveling to new places. You're like, I don't care what you think. I'm going to do what I do, boo-boo. And good on you. Good on you. Because I just think you are taking charge of your life here with the Chariot. The Chariot means we are charging in a new direction, an exciting direction. We know what we want. We're going after it. And we are learning balance as well in the Chariot, because you've got to have a balanced Chariot if it's going to work. Now you literally could be getting a new ride. The Chariot can represent a car. But it also can represent just transportation. Maybe since I mentioned like health concerns or getting your health on track, maybe you're going to just choose to walk more places. And that's going to be a way that you can approach getting back into shape. But I do think this is going to have an impact on relationships here, particularly by the time we get to the end of the month, because we end this spread with the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is all about new partnerships, equal and balanced partnerships. Two of Cups is like soulmate vibes. This is true blue friends, lovers, business partners. Because I feel like this month is about dumping this naggy nonsense and welcoming in those who are truly going to have your back. Now, of course, the big star of the show this month for you, Libra, is that lunar eclipse in your first house. So the first house is the house of self. So like we saw with the new moon, I do think that was sort of the ramp up to this, where we are getting rid of like old narratives about ourselves, naysaying, negative talking, negative beliefs, and replacing those narratives with something positive, something that's going to push us outside our comfort zone, really kind of push us towards the abundance and love and growth that we want. Now, by the end of the month, Venus and Mars are both in your sixth house, which is ruled by Virgo. So this absolutely still can be about more healthy living stuff, about a health journey, but also it can just be about work and abundance. But what we do in our day-to-day to create the reality that we want, that's a lot of that energy. Now, again, I mentioned already, you got that solar eclipse in your sign come October. So I feel like March is just the start of the party, y'all. I feel like this makes absolute sense that we have the Wheel of Fortune here in the overall energy, as well as the Fool. And I just gotta jump to the spread and show you this. We got the World in the heart of the spread. All the major arcana. Which makes sense, Libra, because this is about you. This particular eclipse, and the lunar eclipse and then the solar eclipse coming up this year, this is about Libra and Libra energy. So yeah, the universe is like coming in to create this big ending, this big release, to bring in a big new beautiful beginning. When we see that Wheel of Fortune, we know the wheel is turning in favor of us when it's upright like this. But it's also forces outside of our control. Some of the stuff is like, it's not anything you can do anything about. And the Fool is all about taking that leap of faith, just trusting in the universe, trusting in the timing, trusting that this is time for you to just go on a new journey and try some new stuff, Libra. And with the World in the heart of the spread, it's just about big endings leading to big, beautiful new beginnings. So starting this, we have the Strength, which to me just sort of acknowledges that, man, you've been feeling like you've been going through it a little bit, Libra. The Strength card could also just be called Perseverance, because it is about like having gone through something really, really tough, but really come out stronger for it, right? It's a character building moment. It's just really about like you've been through the things you've been through for a reason here, Libra. And weirdly, you're going to start, if you don't already see the reasons for what you've been going through, you're going to start seeing them in March. And you're going to realize that actually this is opening up some interesting opportunities for you. Because right next to the Strength card, we have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is all about the seed of manifestation has been planted. All you got to do is show up and water it, right? You just got to just kind of keep feeding that manifestation, and you're going to see it show up in your daily life. And I feel like this manifestation does have to do with coming into balance. How very Libra. And it really might have to do with finances. I already kind of touched a little bit on really trying to start monetizing your creative side, your creative self, or your business venture. But also I feel like this is really getting a sense of balance between work and play, and a sense of internal balance. I mentioned already having to do some shadow work probably at the beginning of the month, and making shadow work as well as light work a part of your daily routine. And in case you're like, what in the heck you're talking about? Shadow work is about getting to the root cause of why we do things, getting to understand our subconscious mind, right? And it is about kind of delving into the root cause of why we have some reactions that we have. It is about dealing with our traumas. It's about dealing with generational trauma as well. But then light work is about finding the joy, about finding the happiness, about finding the little everyday things that just bring you peace. And having a balance between those two things is good. I know we see lots and lots of emphasis on shadow work out there in the world. And it's important, don't get me wrong. But man, so is light work. And we gotta strike a balance. It's just healthy for us. And I feel like this is you really kind of offering love to you and being open to love offers once more from others, perhaps, with the Page of Cups. Pages are like little baby steps. They're youthful energy, their curiosity, their playfulness. And I think this eclipse is about letting go of the things that are really heavy for you, particularly in relationships or within the self, that it's just weighing you down, and it's just, right? Getting more into feeling like, I just kind of want to explore. I just kind of want to enjoy. I just want to do the things that make me happy. Okay. Even if that means we got to let some things go. Eclipses are like full moons, and full moons are all about release. And so, of course, this is like a full moon on steroids. So there's going to be endings here, but that is okay because the world also promises big, new, beautiful beginnings for us too. And I think you really appreciate that here with the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is all about getting a new perspective. This is Pisces energy. And so I really feel like some of the stuff, some of the work you're doing around the new moon, you're going to see it really kind of come into fruition or really begin to come into fruition around the lunar eclipse. And then likely by October, you're going to be able to look back to this time and be like, "Woo, I can't believe how much I've changed. My relationship with myself has changed. My relationship with everybody in my life has changed." Because we got big love on the way, Libra, with the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is that cup is overflowing. I love this version of the Ace of Cups and that eye flow. And we're just feeling really emotionally fulfilled. Now, this can be just within the self, but this also can be a relationship offer, like a big relationship offer, meeting a big love of your life. And look what's right next to it, the sun. And what have I been talking about this whole dang reading? About the lunar eclipse, and then later our solar eclipse in this year. So I feel like those of you looking for love, like the love you put into yourself right now, that you establish right now, you're letting go of these old negative beliefs. You're letting go of this old identity. We're embracing the things that make us happy. We're embracing the things we know are healthy for us. And all of that self-love, that self-care, that filling your own cup right now, it is going to manifest into a major love offer come October. And it's just something that's really happy. The Sun card is the happiest card in the deck. This is all about joy and just enjoying life, being out in the sun and letting yourself shine. Remember I told you, Libra, this year is all about you, boo-boo. It's time for you to shine. Now, we do end this reading with the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords, though, she has lived and she has learned. She is actually the archetype of the widow. This is feminine air sign energy. So this is you, Libra. But this is like cutting through the malarkey, okay? Cutting through the nonsense. Because you've been there. You've been hurt. You've lived through it. And you have survived. You have thrived. That's also what strength's about, too. And we saw that in this reading. And you're just like, anything that isn't aligned with my happiness, isn't aligned with my health, that isn't aligned with my joy, it's got to go. Bye-bye. And I think that's what this is all about for you. All right, Libra, that is what I have for you for the month of March. I hope this was helpful. Also, I hope you'll stick around for this next reading here, and I'll see you next time.